Hi, I'm Andrew, an entrepreneur and a computer science student,
Hi, I'm Verene, a psychology major student.
and you're now listening to the Ink Thoughts podcast, where we ponder and talk about incongruous thoughts ranging from our daily life to the human mind.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ink Thoughts podcast. So as you can already see, today I'm still alone because Andrew is actually taking a break from the podcast at the moment. So for the time being, you'll be only seeing me. Okay. So currently it's actually the Easter holiday in the UK. So I've not been up to a lot of stuff. So basically, I don't really have much to talk about. To update about my life. Just trying to, complete whatever is necessary and, chill a bit. So, I guess I'll just head into the topic itself straight away today. So, today we are actually talking about self-doubt. So, what is actually self-doubt? I guess many people might have a bit of difference in how to interpret the word itself, but basically it's about having lack and confidence about yourself, and hence you doubt yourself and your ability in doing or achieving anything. Basically, you don't trust yourself and you're being unconfident in yourself in terms of doing or achieving anything. Sometimes it could be something that comes from inner you because you build up that since young or something. Or sometimes it's just because the environment itself that you're in itself is actually giving you too much pressure and keep questioning about your ability, your capability in doing stuff, which in the end leads you to having more issue in trusting yourself because people have been telling you too much about you can't do this, you won't be able to complete this, but in fact, who knows, if you tried it, you can actually do it. So the reason that I like to talk about this topic today is because I know myself, like growing up, I've always been a very shy person, and I can say I'm actually very unconfident, and I'm not brave at all. So I guess one of the reasons could be related to the way that I was brought up. So the culture and the pressure that is around me. In Asian, especially Chinese family, we we tend to have that idea that a kid should be quiet, obedient, follow rules and all, and guess what, I'm that kind of kid. So we will always they always expect us to behave in a certain way, and if we don't, then we will be labeled as those like naughty kids and all. But especially like young girls, most of the time we love to be called as a good girl and stuff like this, which will actually make us feel like a reward. Maybe this is kind of like an intrinsic motivation that keeps on that keeps me behaving in that way. So especially like when it's from the parents, the teachers, or even just some random elderlies, I tend to follow what they say and try to first observe the environment and then make sure that I'm trying to behave in a way that they are expecting me to. So because of that, I kind of restrict myself in the idea of I have to be a good girl, I have to be obedient, I have to follow what my parents ask me to do. So since young, I'll say my parents use the word good girl to describe me when people ask them about me. And I know most of the time it's because I actually do whatever they expected me to do. But it's until when I grow up, when I look at it again, I realize that perhaps that's still something that I like to do, but sometimes maybe it's not 100% what I actually wanted. Maybe I also want to be a bit naughty and ask for something that I like my brothers, but I guess I just not brave enough to do that when I was young because I restrict myself in the idea that I have to be a good girl. A good girl have to behave in this way. So I can only behave in this way because I want to continue being a good girl, which is sometimes not a good thing to do. Yeah, so these so-called good qualities like being obedient, being quiet, following rules and stuff like this. Yeah, I've been restricting myself in this kind of so-called good qualities when I was younger. Yeah. So I grew up feeling very easily nervous, scared and all. Yeah, but I know sometimes that's actually something that I wanted, just that I'm not brave enough to conquer my fear or go for it. Yeah. I don't even dare to just talk about it to others because I know what if I tend to have those ideas, not ideas, like those thoughts like, what if they judge me after I say that? Yeah, like you're not good enough. Why would you even think about that? Yeah. Do you think you can even do that or something like this? I just straight away stop myself from thinking about all those. But I don't know. It's until around. I'm not sure if it's because of puberty or something that changed me a bit, although not a lot, but at least it's a good start, I'll say. Yeah. So I remember it was during primary school time. So I kind of envy others, like why would they be given the opportunities to shine on the stage or anything. Like I'm not that bad, to be honest. Like I'll say I'm above average, although I'm not the top student in the class. I mean, like getting first, second or third in the class or in the year itself, but my result was good enough. Yeah. So I'll have those thoughts like, why would they be given the opportunity to shine on the stage, but not me? What makes me different from them? So during that time, I don't really think a lot about that because I'm not sure it's because I'm still young, so I didn't think too much about that. I was like, maybe I can do it as well. Like I want to do it as well. I want to get on the stage and do something. Maybe I'm not sure. Like in the past, most of the competition are things like singing or storytelling competition. Yeah. During that time, I know I'm not confident with my singing skill, but maybe I can try storytelling. It's about memorizing the story and try to convey it in an attractive way, and you do it on the stage. Yeah, maybe I can do that. Yeah. So that was the point that get me started in thinking a bit different about myself. Yeah. So the thoughts like they don't, like the others, like my friends and all, they don't even need to ask for the opportunity, but those opportunity will always come to them. I'm not sure if the audience can relate to this. Like most of the time, those that were chosen to join those competition are usually the same people, the same few people. Yeah, maybe they are just too good enough to in everything that, yeah, teacher don't even need to think about others. Yeah, but during that time I was like, I wanted to be in as well. I know I'm not that good, but during that time I remember it's about Malay storytelling competition. So I'm quite close to that teacher, so I feel less judged if I ask her about this question, like, can I join the competition? Yeah. So I remember myself went to her and asked her about it, and guess what? She said yes. Yeah, she even guide me in how to choose a story, and after that she trained me. She gave me some advice and all, and how to get myself prepared and all, because that's really my first time. Yeah, so I was very happy that she gave me that opportunity, and I remember myself being, although it's not something that I'm very good in, like especially in memorizing. Yeah, I have a bad memorizing skill, to be honest. So it's not easy for me to memorize the stuff itself in a very very good way that I won't forget about it. But yeah, I just try and do it, and she also gave me, I mean, my teacher also gave me the opportunity to stand in front of the class to practice about it. So it kind of gave me a sense like how would it be like when I'm on the stage. Although I know it will be a lot different because the hall will be occupied by a lot more people instead of just one class. So even in that environment, I can feel the pressure because I'm afraid of being judged by my classmates. But turned out like they didn't really do anything. Yeah. So sometimes it might just be us thinking too much about it. We ruminate too much over that stuff. Perhaps it won't even happen. We just tend to go straight away into the negative outcomes that will lead to that. But in fact, maybe it won't even happen like in my personal experience. Yeah. So after a few practice, I feel like, oh yeah, actually I feel a lot better. Yeah. And it's not that bad it's not that bad compared to what I've been thinking or imagining about. Yeah. So after that, I remember, during, I grew up, I used to go to daycare every day after school because, yeah, my parents are both working, so no one can take care of us. So me and my brothers will always go to daycare. So during that time, I remember after completing my homework and all, I'll find a quiet space to practice. Yeah, so I remember that time, of course, like young kids when they go to daycare centers, you tend to make a lot of friends and you're so close to them. So I remember my friends were so supportive that when I was practicing and all, they will follow me and gave me some constructive advices or help me in checking if I'm memorizing the right thing or not. Yeah, I'm very grateful for that, to be honest. Yeah. So I guess like the supportive environment also helped me in building up my confidence in doing this. Yeah, it is not easy, but you know, the first thing is that you see you can actually do it. Like in my case, yeah. The second thing is like the environment that I'm in is so supportive. My friends is one thing, my teacher is one thing, the classmate is one thing. Yeah, I can actually do it as well. I'm not that bad. Of course, I'm not perfect yet, but I can slowly go to that. Yeah. So that actually makes me feel a lot better. So coming to the competition day, I don't know why it's my first time, but when I draw the sequence of us going up stage, I got the first one. Yeah. Although I was super nervous, but my teacher told me like, it's okay. The first one, you complete it as soon as possible. You don't need to think about it anymore. Yeah. So at the end of the day, of course, when I was on stage, I was so nervous. I tried to do it confidently, like fake it until make it. I didn't know this, but although I was doing it that way during that time, but yeah, it was it was quite a good experience for me because like talking in front of so many people, I've never thought about it before. I can't really imagine me doing that when I was even younger because I was so quiet, just so timid, always just try to sit in the corner, don't do anything that is unexpected. Yeah. Portraying the good image of a good girl. But I'm glad that I asked for that opportunity and went for it. It makes me change, although not a lot, but a bit. At least it's a good start for me to think about, actually I can do a lot more compared to what I've been thinking about or I've been restricting myself about. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I got the prize. I remember it's a consolation or something. Yeah. So it's still something like you get recognized. Yeah, my effort get recognized. I tried my best in doing it, and now my effort get recognized, and I'm just so happy about it. And of course, thankful for all the people that have been supporting me along the way. Yeah, I guess my parents were proud of me as well. I can't really remember the part if they say anything, but that was my first competition, and yeah, I guess I made them proud. Yeah. So after that, yeah, I remember me myself getting a bit more confident in doing stuff. Yeah, and of course that time I really love writing, especially Mandarin essay. Yeah, I'm so in love with it. I even dream of becoming a novelist when I grow up that time. But of course I'm not doing that now. I guess my creativity just gone. I don't know how and why, but yeah. Anyway, so that time, I just love writing a lot. I immersed myself so much when I was doing my homework or just for exam essays. Yeah. And guess what? I was sent to represent the school for an essay competition, and it builds my confidence as well. Like when you put in so much effort in doing something that you really like, you really love, you can actually do it at the end of the day. Although it might take you some time to reach that, skills and things takes time to build. Yeah, as long as you give yourself some time and you put in your effort in doing that, at the end of the day, you can actually do it. Yeah. So, I was representing my school in, I don't know what's the competition anymore for now, but I know other competitors from different school come to our school, and yeah, we basically just have that competition. Yeah, so other than that, I was actually in love with Mandarin as well. So there's other competition related to that, and I was chosen to be trained for, I think it's a year long or 2 years long, in order to represent our school at the end of my primary school time. Yeah, so all of this actually built my confidence. Like, you do something that you enjoy, and at the end of the day, because you put in so much effort and all, you get a very good result, and that actually, I mean, that's a positive reinforcement, so it makes you feel a lot better and you're more confident in doing that next time. So yeah, so I guess that's one of the tips that I'd like to share about conquering self-doubt, which is be aware of what you want. As long as you really want it, you will find a way to do it. And at the end of the day, you can actually do it because you are just so in love with that. You basically try every single way that is possible, that can actually work. Yeah, maybe it will take you time to try and error, and maybe fail for a few times, but as long as you really want it, you're determined in doing it, you stand up again and try to challenge it and conquer it at the end of the day. Yeah, which in turn will build a positive reinforcement that will get you keep going on. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I like to share. And also I always admire those people that, they show their passion so much in the stuff that they are doing, be it work or their hobbies. Yeah, I just feel, I can see those people shining when they are doing something that they like. Yeah, and sometimes I can actually see it from those lecturers that I've been in contact with. Yeah, you can actually see them being so passionate when they share about something of their expertise. So all of us can actually be that, just as long as we find out what is something that we want and we would like to do. Slowly we can get to there at the end of the day as well. Yeah. So the next tips that I'd like to share is actually don't ruminate over the possible negative outcomes too much. I mean, you can think about it, because when you think about it, you can try to figure out some ways to conquer it or to deal with it, but don't keep yourself in that rumination for too long, because there's no point ruminating over those possible negative outcomes that you can't even do anything with, because it will only decrease your confidence in trying to do the stuff that you would like to do, instead of helping you in dealing with other so-called possible negative outcomes. Yeah, so if you figure out there's no way to do that, no way in avoiding those possible negative outcomes and happening, just let it be, and you try different ways in doing it. Maybe you can actually counter that. Yeah. So next, if you want to try out something new, don't give yourself the second thought chance. Just do it. Yeah, because you'll find it easier to get yourself started, because most of the time, the thing that pulls us back is actually our fear. After thinking about all those like possible negative outcomes or any risk that kicks in. Yeah, so if you don't give yourself that second thought chance to think too much about it, yeah, you can actually get yourself started way more easier, because you just have lesser fear in doing it, and most of the time it's actually not that difficult as compared to how we have been thinking about it. Yeah, so as long as we don't give ourselves too much chances in having a second thought, you can actually make a very good start. Because usually the hardest thing to do is to get ourselves started. Yeah, as long as we get ourselves started, things after that is not as hard as the very beginning stage of getting ourselves started. So yeah. So the next point that I like to make is actually surround yourself with a positive environment. So I'll say, based on my past experiences, like the storytelling competitions story, it's actually very helpful and encouraging for us to be surrounded by people that are positive. And of course, because they are positive, they tend to be more encouraging. Yeah. So, of course, it is unavoidable that sometimes there are people around us that tend to doubt our ability, and so those we can say they're kind of more pessimistic people. Yeah, so be aware of that, because what they think about you is not necessarily how you are. Yeah, the most important thing is how you view yourself. If you view yourself as someone that's capable of doing it, you can actually do it. It's not what others define you, it's how you define yourself. Yeah. So if you are aware that there are people and environment that is toxic to you, try to distance yourself a bit. I know there are conditions like maybe those people are actually our parents, and of course we are living under the same roof and all most of the time, that we can't really do that, and it's not a moral thing to do, morally correct thing to do to be rude to them or anything, but you can try to distance yourself from them whenever you talk about things like this. Or maybe you just don't share too much about how you feel, just some context about it, and that's it. Yeah. So if you try to surround yourself with positive people, you will feel the difference. Yeah, every day you feel energetic because people around you are just so encouraging and lovely. Yeah, people are so caring that they want the best of you. They are not just trying to doubt your ability and all, because they know that is something that you want to do. They will try their own way in helping you to achieve that, instead of keep doubting you on stuff like this. Yeah. So if you are able to really try to surround yourself with positive people and environment, that really helps. It's not just about self-doubting. It helps in many different ways in our life. Yeah. So one last thing that I like to share about, one last tips that I like to share about conquering self-doubt is about forgetting about everyone else is thinking about you, because actually everyone's so busy with their own life. They don't even care who you are, what you're doing, and not even to say if you did it well or not. Yeah, they're just so busy caring about their own life than having the time to think about you. Of course, this is something that I'm still trying to learn, because I know one thing that makes me feel so unconfident is actually me thinking too much about how people view me and think about me unconsciously. These thoughts will just kick in immediately without me even consciously thinking about it. Yeah. So we are just too self-aware about stuff like this sometimes. So try to remind yourself, like, no one actually cares. It's only you that cares. So you can do it. You don't think too much about it. Yeah. I guess some of these tips that I've shared, the 5 tips that I've shared will overlap with each other, and you can combine them together, which will help you better, like, forget about everyone else is thinking about you, and then you get started immediately when you think about a new idea or something. Yeah, it will help. Yeah. So I guess this is my own experiences and also my tips in conquering self-doubt. If you have other different tips or experiences that you'd like to share with us, feel free to comment on our social media or send us an email or any way that you like to. Yeah. So I guess I don't really have an insight for this week. Yeah, there's not much happening this week, and I guess that's the end for this episode as well. I hope everyone will be more confident and brave after conquering self-doubt and achieving whatever that you would like to. Yeah. So I guess that's the end of the episode, and thank you everyone for listening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, do share with your friends and family and leave us a review on the Apple Podcast. If you're not using an Apple device, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast website with a link in the show notes. If you have any feedback or thoughts which you hope that we'll discuss in the future, feel free to email them to us at hello@incthoughts.com, or alternatively, you can send us a private message on our Facebook, Instagram or Twitter with the username of incthoughtspod. Thanks again, and see you all next week. Bye bye.